Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here for a graduation update. I just wanted to first jump on and say thank you for dropping in to watch another video. I really appreciate it. I wanted to just kind of explain what I'm going to be doing. So obviously I'm going to be giving you guys a graduation update, but what I'm going to do is break it out into two videos. This way it's not too long. And then second, I am going to kind of explain my experience, and then I will go into showing the footage that I did get. Now, I really did try to be in the moment at the same time as capture as much as I could. And I lost my tripod mid-travels, so I did my best. But unfortunately, with this new camera without a tripod, the camera tends to tilt. It's really hard to keep it steady, so I did my best. But yeah, so again, thank you. And yeah. So the first thing that I want to go over is Thursday, which was the 16th of January for us. I flew in Wednesday, the night before, with family, and it was Matt's cousin and his goddaughter, and then my son. So it was definitely nice having someone to travel with. Yeah, so once we kind of got settled in Texas for the night, we just kind of went to bed. We got in real late. Our flight was at 6. So Thursday morning came, we got ready, and we wanted to be out of the door by, I think it was 5, because I believe that the gates open at 6, and we anticipated a line. So if we wanted to leave by 5, we were about 10 minutes away from the base. And we wanted to grab breakfast too, so we went downstairs at like 4:30. Now, of course, we were running a little late, so we probably really didn't leave until like 5:30 after eating breakfast and stuff like that. But we got to the base. The line wasn't too long. We maybe waited 10-15 minutes. I am going to assume that the lines got longer the later you wait, so I would definitely just suggest going early. It wasn't really too bad waiting around in the reception center, which is what I was getting to next. So after we got into the base, we got to the reception center, and it's just this big building. It's kind of like a big circle or a U kind of thing. But yeah, there's like a little mini cafe in there. They give you they serve coffee, and they'll give you a cup where you can continuously go back and have it refilled with coffee as long as there is coffee available. So that's really cool. I believe it was only $6 plus tax, and they also have other different little snacks and drinks in there. So that was really cool. And then there's this circle desk with a whole bunch of airmen behind it, kind of directing and letting people know where they need to go and answering questions of that sort. I didn't really feel the need to go to the orientation. There is a 7 a.m. orientation and a 9 a.m. orientation. I actually would suggest, if you want to get to the 7 a.m. one, is that you leave earlier than we did, because we got there probably about 6:30, and yeah, we missed the 7 a.m. when it was already full. So yeah, you just gotta do what you can do. So we kind of just really hung around. 8 a.m. was the airman's run. So at like 7:30, we started making our way out, and everyone started lining up. Now, when you're walking out of the doors from the reception center, it's kind of right in front of you, and there are going to be bleachers on your left and your right hand side. And the way that they run is basically in a U formation. There are buildings, so again, if I'm walking out of the door and I'm standing, I just stop. There's bleachers to your left and to your right, and then in the distance towards the left hand side you can see buildings. They run out of those buildings and kind of come around the bleachers, and around by the bleachers they circle around and go and run next to the second set of bleachers, and then they run back to the buildings. We made the mistake, because we didn't know the direction that they were running, and people were lined up alongside of the bleachers, and they have cones set up, and the cone, honestly, like if you're looking at it from a sky view, it looks like a D. There's the loop part, and then there's the line, a straight line, and we were waiting and standing in that straight line, so we had good visual when they were running out, but they didn't physically run past us, which really sucked because we were running back and forth to each side to see him when he came by, but we saw him nevertheless. So I would definitely just suggest standing on one of the sides with the bleachers, or the side with like the circle part with the flagpole. When you get there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So sorry if it sounds a little mumbo jumbo now, but you'll understand when you get there. I will insert my footage of the Airman's Run, or what I did get of it here. And you can also see kind of the formation that I was talking about as well. So I'll insert it now.
If this were to occur, another person has to
Yeah, no, you don't.
responsibility for the flag and ensure that the guidon flag never touches the ground. Guidons are no longer used on today's battlefield to identify enemies. However, in keeping with military tradition, guidons are
HOOYAH! Woo! Hey. Have no voices later. Like a quiet thing. Barely got a voice now.
So after the Airman's Run, again, it's just kind of hanging out. The coin ceremony didn't start till 9:30, so we were already outside. It did start raining while we were at the Airman's Run, so we decided to just stay outside, and we just got ourselves a seat on the bleachers that Matt had directed us to sit in. Your airmen, when they call you after Beast Week, at some point they should be able to call you regarding graduation, and when they call you regarding graduation, they should be able to give you a general idea of where you want to sit. So that's where we sat. It actually turned out that some of the Bulldogs, yes, in his flight, the family members of some of his flight members, had a, like, when you get there, you'll see it was like, I don't want to say handicap seating, but it was kind of like a little bit separate. They were all just sitting there, like our entire flight family was sitting there, and we sat there. I think it was at 10:30, because I believe that the spouse orientation was at 9:40, and I went to that. So again, I really didn't need to go. I knew everything that they told me about. It was about Military One Source, which I already knew about, and I've already explored their entire site. It was about the My CAA grant. It was just about, you know, like deployment things, and everything just tied back to the Military One Source. So I did my research throughout PMT. I had nothing but time to do it, so that I knew a lot of, not a lot, I knew everything that they were telling me, so I didn't need to go, but it was nice to go. Yeah, after that I went back to the seats. I did wait for them to dismiss us because there was spouse seating, special spouse seating, and I just wanted to see if it was closer than the seats that we had, which was literally amazing. We were pretty much on the ground, and like we were the second bleacher up, and yeah, we had clear view of the ceremony grounds. We didn't know where he was standing at the time, but once he came out, we literally had a clear shot. The spouse seating was in the next section over. I was like, I'm just gonna sit with my family. So I will insert some of the ceremony footage that I got here, and let me just tell you guys, it was absolutely amazing. It was such an honoring, like, experience, like, to be there and to witness it. I was so honored. I was so humbled by it. I've never ever in my entire life, I am 29 years old, I have never been so proud in my life. It was, my heart was literally bursting with the amount of you know, gratitude and proudness I had in it for my husband. And it was just so exciting when they recited their Airman's Creed. Sorry, my hands are getting tired from holding the tripod. But when they were reciting the Airman's Creed, it was like magical, like hearing all of those men and women after enduring what they did for the past 8.5 weeks, just finally like hear them and hear their voice. It was really, it was an amazing experience. If anyone watching this video has been to graduation before, you know exactly how I feel. And if you haven't, just take a moment and really, really appreciate that and just take it in, because it's so beautiful. I do have a little clip of it. I will definitely insert it. So,
and dignity for all. Remind them this day of the great responsibility being placed upon their shoulders and those of their generation. Almighty God, bless them with wisdom, courage, and strength for the task ahead. We ask all these things in your holy name. Amen.
amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes, the 737 Training Group's military training instructors will begin marching the graduates onto the retreat pad for today's ceremony. In the military, ceremonies are held to accord distinctive honors to national symbols or individuals on special occasions. Ceremonies are used to display the proficiency and state of training of the airmen in command and promote teamwork and pride in the Air Force organization. Lastly, these ceremonies are used to contribute to public morale by displaying symbolically the strength and unity of the military in support of the nation. All of the movements that you will see them perform today are known as drill. The purpose of drill is to enable a commander or a non-commissioned officer, such as the military training instructor, the ability to move their units from one place to another in an orderly manner, to aid in the disciplinary training by instilling habits of precision and response to the leader's orders, and to provide for the development of all airmen in the practice of commanding formations. During the march-on, applause is appropriate, but please limit your applause so that others may hear the narration of the squadrons and flight numbers as they pass the fire line while entering the retreat pad.
So also, regarding the tap out, my husband said that he was instructed to make it quick and simple. I kind of had built this whole thing up in my head, and I do suffer from anxiety, and I definitely was having my fair share of anxiety that weekend. Let me tell you, I was going crazy. Like, it was bad to the point where I had to be medicated at the end of the night to get through the weekend, because yeah, my anxiety was on another level. But yes, so basically, with the tap out, as I went in to hug him, he whispered in my ear, "You gotta be quick." And as I'm pulling back, you can see me say, or hear me say, "I know." And then we kiss, and then he was like, "Gotta be quick" again. And then I say, "I know" again. And that was it. But I wouldn't take it back for the world. That was our tap out. You know, that was my first encounter with my husband after 2.5 months. Although I did, like I said, I had built up this whole other thing in my head. But it doesn't take away from that moment.
Here we go. Look at me.
So we're just gonna go and we're gonna hug him. Okay?
Is it inappropriate for me to call him a name right now?
And then pretty much after graduation, that's really it. I really didn't film much after graduation. My camera had died halfway through graduation because I was totally unprepared and I had it out because I didn't want to miss anything. So I had it out on trying to capture as much as I could. And again, we were up since 6 o'clock in the morning, so it died. I definitely learned my lesson and I went out and bought a power bank and I brought my cord and stuff with me, so I was able to make up for it on day 2. But so after the ceremony and all that good stuff, he was released for base Liberty. We did have to do the dorm tour. He said that he did have to take us there because he did have a dorm meeting before he was able to actually just go out for the day. So we went back to his dorm and we kind of hung out there. He showed us his quarters and I don't know if that's what you call it, whatever. He showed us his area, his bunk, his locker. I didn't get any footage of that in there, unfortunately. I really tried, but he was super nervous and overwhelmed. And he said that he was instructed to not have anyone record, to not take pictures, to not have anyone's phone out while in the dorms, even though we saw a lot of other people that were doing it. And I have seen other videos on YouTube of the dorms, but he's gonna follow the rules because that is Matthew and I love him for it. He is a good man, that guy. So yeah, he just showed us around. He took apart his gun for us, put it back together, and we just kind of hung out until they asked all family to leave. And oh boy, were those stairwells congested. It was kind of scary, honestly. It's a lot of people going down a very narrow stairwell, but yeah, you kind of just hang out by there's like there was a parking lot near his dorm room, so we just kind of hung out there and waited for him to come out. He came out and we explored the rest of the afternoon. We went bowling, we went to both of the museums that they had there, we went to the library, we got food, we went to both of the BXs. We literally saw everything that there was really on base the first day because we couldn't leave, and our hotel was off of base, so we couldn't really go back anywhere and hang out. His curfew was 8 o'clock, so we dropped him off. It was a very bittersweet drop off. You know, you kind of just get him back, but you can't show any PDA all day, and you know, you kind of just want to bear hug him and you really can't. So it just, my husband was very by the rules, and that's okay. But it, you know, I did see other people like, you know, holding hands and things like that, and it's really hard being away from them for so long and then having to literally walk and be next to them and just not be able to grab their hand. And they look so good in their uniforms, ladies. Like, it's crazy how good he looked. It's 2.5 months since I laid eyes on him. I mean, I got a picture, but it does not, I'm tongue twisted at this point. That picture does not do any justice. Wow. Yes, he looks good in his uniform, and it was definitely worth the wait to see that. So, yeah, I mean, you have things to look forward to. So, his curfew was 8 o'clock. We said our goodbyes, and yeah, we went back to the hotel and just kind of relaxed for the night and went to bed and kind of try to gear up for day 2. So I am going to end and wrap up this video here, and I'll give you another update on day 2 in another video, just because I know that this one's going to be long enough. Thank you again for watching my video. If anyone has any questions or just wants to talk, hit me up. You already know what my Instagram is going to be. It's down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.